Welcome back to Unseen Rite. Today, I'm dragging you into a darkness that questions the very nature of what it means to be human and what it means to never be human at all. Imagine a boy who never spoke, never aged, never defied. A boy fostered in 1871 by the Finch family of Jennings County, Indiana. Miriam Finch wrote in her journal that he sat silent for hours, staring at walls, never eating with the family, never playing with the other children. Elijah called him the perfect son, obedient, still, compliant. But on October 12, 1873, they returned him to the county with a note. No longer compatible. No explanation, no illness, no rebellion, just incompatible. I'm your mentor, guiding you into truths that crawl beneath the skin. This silent child's file did not close upon his return. He became Unit 03V, and his paper trail twisted through foster homes, schools, and correctional facilities like a serpent devouring its own tail. A school register in Ripley County listed him as Eli M., aged 9, enrolled for 2 weeks before his family relocated. Photographs taken 14 months apart revealed not a single sign of growth, no loss of baby fat, no lengthening limbs. The archivists who studied the photos found only decay in themselves, not in him. I'm pulling you into this abyss where institutional manipulation is an art form perfected over centuries. Handwriting analysis showed the child's records bore ink pigments unknown to forensic labs, annotated by clerks who swore they never signed them. One county clerk, Enoch Belmer, swore under oath the file contained his signature, forged by a hand that wasn't human. Ask yourself, what kind of system creates a child it cannot reclassify, cannot age, cannot erase? The deeper you look, the more it stares back. This is only the first room in a mansion of shadows you were never meant to enter. Each door reveals a deeper corruption woven into your understanding of life itself. The story of the boy science couldn't explain is not a ghost story. It is the anatomy of a lie so profound it unravels reality itself. Are you ready to walk deeper into the mansion? The deeper you walk into the Finch family's shadow, the colder the air becomes. Imagine Miriam Finch in 1871, watching the silent boy sit for hours in the rocking chair by the fireplace, unmoving, eyes fixed on nothing. She wrote, "He blinks rarely, only when I pray aloud." After his return to the county as no longer compatible, he was renamed Eli Morris and assigned to Jefferson County. But there was no transfer paperwork. His record simply appeared. In Ripley County, the Lyle family supposedly took him in, but no records of the Lyles exist. No tax rolls, no deeds, no census entries. Just a single school register entry. Eli M., age 9. 2 weeks later, the entry ends with the note, "Family relocated, no forwarding address." I'm your mentor, revealing that behind every institutional file lies a system designed to hide its own creations. When archivists compared photographs of him taken 14 months apart, they found no difference. The same unlined skin, same unchanging eyes. The technician responsible for developing the negatives in 1923 reportedly went blind 2 months later. His final note read, "The boy never moved. I saw him in the dark room." By 1891, he surfaced again. A Clark County correctional intake record listed Eli M., age 9, arrested for larceny, silent, compliant, never spoke, never aged, transferred to Cold Hollow State Reformatory in December 1892. There, his file reads, entirely compliant, never speaks, never grows. One warden wrote he attempted to teach the boy to read. Every letter taught vanished from the boy's memory by morning. This is not merely a story of hidden abuse. This is a story of a system creating something it could neither define nor destroy. Pigment testing on his intake records revealed compounds never catalogued by modern science. Archival staff who handled his papers reported vivid nightmares of infinite hallways lined with flickering gaslights, each door marked only with a single word: compatibility. Ask yourself, what is compatibility when applied to a child? The hidden agenda emerges here. The psychological control system embedded in language itself, because when a child becomes no longer compatible, it means he was never meant to be a child at all. I'm leading you deeper into rooms where each truth is darker than the last, where every flicker of candlelight reveals another facet of an ancient corruption hidden in plain sight. Do you see the mansion's true blueprint forming before you? The mansion of secrets has no windows, only mirrors reflecting what you fear to see. As Eli M. sat silent in cold, hollow state reformatory, his presence corroded the minds around him. Warden Leonard Prater wrote in 1903, "He blinked 118 times when asked to repeat a word I mouthed. I recorded his blinks as words. The message read, 'Still processing.' Imagine that. A boy reduced to a blinking code, or perhaps a code wearing the body of a boy. His file line ended without closure, marked only as reclassification pending. No incident report, no release order, no death certificate, just a blank entry beneath his name, like an unfinished equation suspended in the ledger of the damned. I'm your mentor, dragging you deeper into the abyss where institutional manipulation is an invisible cathedral built upon human compliance. Handwriting analysis revealed inconsistencies. Some notes in his file were written decades before the ink compound used was even invented. Pigment tests found carbon signatures that predated industrial manufacturing by centuries. When researchers attempted to digitize or microfilm his file, the system returned error messages. Document locked in motion, awaiting outcome. Who or what was he awaiting? In 1935, a transfer envelope surfaced labeled Finch Return Subject, Compatibility Cycle Incomplete, approved by a regional supervisor who had been dead for 4 years. Between 1871 and 1955, his file was accessed, copied, and refiled over 114 times. Each access marked with a blank annotation line, no clerk's name, no timestamp, just silence logged into eternity. And when the final physical folder was found in 1983, its pages were blank, except for a microscopic phrase etched into the paper fibers. Still processing. I'm pulling you down this rabbit hole to reveal a darkness that questions reality itself. Was he a misplaced child, a system failure, or a creation of the system designed to test human definitions of personhood and compatibility? Imagine an institution so vast that it can create a child, a vessel, to observe your compliance with definitions it has set. Imagine it watching you now as you listen, measuring your belief in the child's humanity. Because to believe in him is to believe the system can fail. To disbelieve him is to believe the system can lie perfectly. You are walking deeper into the mansion, each room darker than the last. The next room holds truths about compatibility that will burn your sanity from within. Welcome back to the mansion's rotting heart. This is where the whispers become screams, though only you will hear them. Cold, hollow state reformatory's records ended with a cryptic annotation, transferred off roster, reclassification pending. But no transfer paperwork exists. No warden signed release. His presence simply dissolved into the system like an untraceable contagion. I'm your mentor, dragging you into a realm where institutional manipulation transcends governance and enters the realm of ontology itself, the study of being. Because what was Eli Morris if he was never a boy? A ledger note from 1910 found hidden in Jennings County Courthouse read simply, "Male minor Finch placement, status, compatibility suspended. Compatibility suspended." This phrase appears again in 1935 on a transfer envelope approved by a dead supervisor, again in 1955 during a routine file audit, and again in 1983 on the microscopic fibers of his blank folder, still processing. Ask yourself, if compatibility is suspended, does it mean the process of creating him failed, or that his purpose is incomplete? Photographic analysis revealed no biological change over decades. His skin, his hair, his eyes, all identical pixel for pixel. Archivists reported static interference in analog film when attempting to copy his image, and several experienced hallucinations of a figure standing behind them, whispering a single repeated word, compatible. And here is your call to transformation. Comment "still processing" twice below to lock in what you've learned. Let the system know you see its hidden hand, that your awakening cannot be suspended. Because in the architecture of control, psychological or otherwise, the phrase "still processing" is the greatest lie. It implies completion is possible. It implies the system itself will one day end its cycle. But systems built upon ancient corruption do not end. They reclassify, they rename, they reassign. I'm leading you deeper now, beyond where even the clerks dared record, into the domain of what compatibility truly means when applied to human lives. Each step you take in this mansion is a step away from safety, and a step closer to the truth that nothing you have been taught about humanity is immune from reclassification. The mansion's floorboards sag beneath your feet, groaning under centuries of secrets sealed in rotten beams. Each step echoes with a question you were never meant to ask. After the 1983 discovery of the blank Finch file, federal archivists ordered immediate transfer to the National Records Repository. During transit, the folder vanished. Chain of custody logs showed a signature from Unit 03V. That was Eli's original designation. I'm your mentor, dragging you deeper into a darkness where institutional manipulation fuses with reality's foundation itself. Unit 03V was not just a number. It was a classification for cognitively inert minors with adaptive potential. In plain words, children who were never children, but constructs designed to test, reflect, and redefine the boundaries of human compatibility. Decades of suppressed records hint at a black program run beneath orphan placement networks, Project Finch compatibility. Its objective was not welfare, but observation. Systematic monitoring of compatibility cycles, assessing which families integrated these units seamlessly, which rejected them, and which began questioning their nature. And those who questioned? Miriam Finch's final journal entry before Eli's removal read, "He stood in the hall at dawn, smiling. I asked what he was. He blinked once. My thoughts dissolved. When I woke, he was gone, and my questions with him." Imagine a control system so precise it can erase memory while preserving compliance. A system so ancient its rituals are built into bureaucratic structures you use daily. Foster forms, birth certificates, prison intake logs, adoption placement approvals. Each document a chamber in the mansion, each signature a lock that seals you within. Eli's unchanging face appears again in a 1926 photo from Cold Hollow's staff records, labeled Custodial Assistant, unidentified. Again, in a 1954 orphanage renovation photo in Jennings County, standing behind the construction team. And again, in a 1979 newspaper clipping from Ripley County, showing a group of students outside a burned schoolhouse. His eyes always hollow. His age always 9. Do you feel it now? That prickling behind your eyes, that tension coiling in your gut. You are no longer listening to a story. You are walking its halls. Because the mansion was never a place. It was a system, and you are inside it. The next door reveals what compatibility suspended truly means, and why it was written for you long before you pressed play. The air thickens as you enter the mansion's deepest chamber, a place where silence presses against your skull like iron. Here, records end. Here, only truth remains. In 2004, an independent genealogical researcher attempted to compile a definitive Finch family tree. When tracing Miriam and Elijah's foster placement records, their file opened to a black page, embossed with microscopic script. Under scanning electron microscopy, the words revealed themselves. Compatibility cycle incomplete. Awaiting outcome. Awaiting outcome. Like a ritual never concluded, like a summoning unfinished. I'm your mentor, dragging you into the abyss where institutional manipulation becomes metaphysical. Because Unit 03V's purpose was never to integrate into a family. It was to test their psychological, moral, and spiritual architecture against a template that could overwrite human identity itself. The cold, hollow warden's handwritten note in 1903, archived under sealed court records, reads, "He blinked 118 times when asked to repeat a word. When I counted each blink, I realized he was saying it. Counting was the only way to hear. The word was outcome. Every foster parent, every teacher, every guard, every investigator who encountered Eli experienced inexplicable lapses, blank journal pages, missing signatures, lost hours. But the cycle always continued. Compatibility was tested, evaluated, reassigned. And so we arrive at the edge of the mansion's final hall, a place where forbidden history is carved into the walls in rust-red script. The mansion is the system, the boy is the template, the families are the subjects, compatibility is outcome. Outcome is integration. Imagine an ancient corruption so total it needs no army or regime. It needs only compliance encoded into human memory and reinforced through blank pages, through forgotten questions. And here is your final threshold before the climax. If you have walked this far, comment awaiting outcome twice below. Prove you are no longer blind to the cycles. Prove you remember the questions they erased. Because beyond this door lies the mansion's heart, where the boy stands in silent patience, eyes hollow, blink unending, waiting to see if you are compatible with the purpose he carries, waiting to see if your cycle ends here, or if it too remains incomplete. The door swings open without a sound. Darkness rushes out, folding around you like a funeral shroud. You stand at the mansion's heart, where all questions come to die. He is there. Unit 03V, Eli. The boy who never aged, the boy who never spoke. His skin is waxen under the flickering chandelier, eyes reflecting candlelight like polished glass. He blinks, once, twice, a rhythm older than language. Records scattered across the floor whisper secrets long buried. Transfer envelopes marked with the Finch family seal, foster approval forms stamped, compatibility cycle suspended, and prison intake rosters overwritten with the phrase integration pending. Each page is an incision into history, bleeding truths your mind was conditioned to reject. I'm your mentor, dragging you into the mansion's final chamber, where psychological control becomes cosmic, because Eli was never human. He was a template, a projection of an ancient system designed to overwrite identity, dissolve memory, and test moral boundaries against an unspoken standard. Think of it, a child who never cried, aged, or questioned orders. A presence that made strong men forget their convictions, made mothers forsake intuition, made society erase every record while believing it was for the child's welfare. Warden Pratter's final note, scrawled in shaking script before his disappearance. I counted the blinks again, 118, outcome, outcome, outcome. He's saying it for me, because I'm no longer able. Eli blinks now at you. And with each silent flicker, a memory fractures. Your first question, your first doubt, your first moment of knowing this world was built on invisible machinery of obedience and forgetting. The mansion rumbles as you realize the final truth. Compatibility was never about him integrating into your world. It was about your mind integrating his purpose. As the ceiling cracks and shadows pour like ink, you hear his voice at last. Not with ears, but with every fiber of your existence. Outcome achieved. And the file closes, not with a signature, not with a final report, but with you, because the cycle is complete, the mansion is sealed, and the template has found its next vessel. Welcome back to Unseen Rite, where forbidden truths don't just haunt you, they become you.